Angle this just a little bit and hit it right there. And don't look at this. Don't watch this as it's coming down. And your hands, just look right at that spot and your body will do the rest. Well, good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the Rustic log cabin in Northern Maine. Welcome to my cabin this morning. Get yourself a cup of coffee. Well, it's supposed to be snowing. Well, it's not. I've got a big pot of beans cooking on this wood stove right now. I'll be canning them up later on today. They're going to simmer in there until about, probably 2 o'clock area. But anyways, today I want to talk about reloading, and I want to talk about safety. Maybe we should have had this video way back in the beginning of when I started the series for this winter. But like with anything, you know, I do research and all of that. Couple of things I've been watching on other YouTube channels that kind of been disturbing me a little bit as far as safety goes and the shortage of primers and stuff like that. So let's talk about primers and let's talk about the shortage of primers. Now, so that if you're new to this series, I have been a reloader for almost 40 years, give or take. It might even be over 40 years by now. I'm seeing videos that people are wanting to, because of the shortage, swap small rifle primers for small pistol primers. And their theory is backing down the powder will make it safe. Well, if you're new to this series, and some of you are, and some of you are watching this series because I am talking common sense, and I am talking, I'm starting at the very beginning. I'm going through each piece of equipment so that you've got a really good grasp on how to use each piece of equipment. So this primer deal is right along the same lines. If you were thinking about swapping small rifle primers for small pistol primers, capital letters, do not do it. Don't do it. I don't care how many videos you see on YouTube that say it is safe to do, no problems, I've been doing it for a while now, blah, 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 blah. It's not safe to do. The only way that I would ever recommend doing that is in a case of emergency. Shortage of primers is not an emergency. Nor is it the first time that we've had a shortage of primers. Like I said, I've been reloading for 40 years. It's not the first time that primers have come up short and there's a shortage. There's a shortage right now. Eventually they'll catch up and eventually there'll be plenty of primers again. That's just the way the nature of the beast is. The bullet manufacturers, they're turning out as much as they can. I mean, let me tell you, there's a profit to be made. They're turning them out. They are turning them out because any business is in business, turns a profit. They're not holding back. Their lines, I am quite sure, are up and running 24/7. It's just the product is being bought up faster than they can produce it. But it is a dangerous thing. Now, and the video I just watched, and that's what kind of prompted this, the guy did it 2 years ago. Well, 2 years ago, if you were patient, you could still find pistol primers. I had no problem locating pistol primers 2 years ago. I had no problem locating, 2 years ago I had no problem locating primers. To a degree. I could get my small pistol primers, and I could get lots of small rifle primers. And I did. I wish I'd stocked up a little more on the small pistol primers, but at the time I'm working up two 23 rifles, so knowing that I was going to need a lot of primers for them 2 rifles, I did purchase a lot of small rifle primers. Now what I said in case of an emergency is if we're going to war and you don't have any bullets for your gun, well, that's in a case of emergency. A pistol primer is not a case of emergency. It might be disappointing to you to have a pistol that you don't have ammunition for, but it is out there. I can purchase, I got 9 millimeters. I got a 9 millimeter, I've got a 380. All them guns I can purchase ammunition for right now. I don't buy ammunition because I reload. But this particular guy, getting back to what I said a minute ago, this particular guy loaded up 50 rounds to take to the shooting range, and he's new to reloading. He said he was new to reloading. Right there is a scary thing. And that's why I'm doing this video. If you are new to reloading, do not experiment outside of the manuals. The manuals are done by professional people. They are done by people that understand this stuff inside and out. So if it was a good idea to swap pistol primers for rifle primers, it would be in the manual. It would be in one of the manuals that make up reloading. That's what they are for. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the company. There's other manuals out there that have nothing to do with pushing products at all. And it's not in their manual. If you pick up a Lyman reloading manual, there's nothing in there about swapping small rifle primers for small pistol primers. So don't do it. What you can't see is the different pressures that are going on inside of that pistol. That's why this guy was so foolish. And then to top it off, as an experiment, he didn't even pick up the cases to inspect them. So all he did was take 50 rounds to the shooting range. He shot 50 rounds and then said it was flawless. Just because the gun went bang, 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 bang. That means absolutely nothing. I can take a bullet out here, throw it in a campfire, and make it go bang. That does not mean that that was a successful bullet. That's about how incompetent of an experiment that this guy was doing. And then he loaded it up to YouTube and said, go buy all of the small rifle primers that you can buy and load your pistols with them. That's how foolish of a video that this was, and that's why I'm doing this video right now. When you reload a bullet for the very first time, you go to the manual. You go to the where they got the lowest setting for that bullet. And that's where you start, because each pistol is different to how it will handle a load. It starts out with the very minimum, and then it goes up to the very maximum. You never, ever, ever start at the maximum, because you don't know how your pistol will react to the maximum load, or rifle, or shotgun. So you go back to the very minimum load, you start out there, you load it up, maybe you load up 10 rounds, you take it to the shooting range, you shoot them 10 bullets, and because you don't want to load up 100 of those bullets, because you don't know how it's going to fire. Might not fire at all. Maybe your pin won't be at whatever. It might not fire at all. So take 10 bullets. Now you can take 10 different recipes. You can take the very lowest, then you can bump it up to the next one and take 10 of those. Then you can bump it up to the next one and take 10 of those. So when you start out with the lowest at the shooting range, you shoot one bullet. And then you find that case and you look at it. you want to make sure that that case isn't distorted at all. You want to make sure the primer isn't distorted at all. You want to make sure that your firing pin hasn't shot clear through the primer. Or you want to make sure that that primer isn't pushed out or bulged. It doesn't want to look like anything except for the dent of your firing pin on that primer. If anything else is wrong with that primer, you have a problem with that load. It's either too hot, and that's the problem with switching out a small rifle primer for a small pistol primer. Different powders burn at different rates, faster, slower. Different primers burn at different rates. Rifle primers are designed, I gotta have a drink of water. Rifle primers are designed, a pistol case is this tall. A rifle case is this tall. So, the pistol primer only needs to burn this much powder. It's just a little case. But a rifle primer, you want it to ignite evenly. So a rifle primer is designed to make it through the powder so that all the powder burns at an even rate. That's about as simple as I can put it to how all that works. But that's why you don't switch out a small rifle primer for a pistol primer. Just the different pressures. You can't measure that pressure. And especially if you're new to reloading, you don't even have the grasp on what pressure is at this point. So what I would say to any of you that are new to reloading, and I know I haven't said this yet in any of my videos, when you get that manual, go to the first few chapters and read it. Because in them first few chapters is all of the safety stuff that has been worked into reloading so that it is a safe sport for you. That's the only way that reloading can be safe for you, and it's a very safe sport. 40 years, I've never had an issue. I've never blown up a gun. I have never, I can't say I haven't had a primer here and there that didn't fire, but that's only because of old stock. But keep safety in mind when you're doing this stuff. A gun will blow up, and that's what I left that guy for a comment. A gun will blow up, a pistol will blow up. That's why we don't monkey with the recipe that's outside of any manual. And that's one of the reasons I haven't had problems in my reloading for 40 years. I do absolutely nothing that's not in a reloading manual. Nothing. I don't swap out bullets. I don't swap out powders. I don't swap out primers. If that book says this powder at this weight, that's what I use. And that's the only thing I can say to you is that's the best way for you to stay safe. Enjoy this sport. Reloading to me is hunting, self-defense, self-reliant. There's nothing that gives me a more feeling of being self-reliant than a full woodshed. I'm sitting out here in a woodshed and being able to build my own bullets. I can put food on the table. I can protect myself. This is common sense stuff. The whole process of reloading is common sense. If it feels unsafe or you have any questions about it, it probably is unsafe. So after watching that guy's video, I really felt that I needed to put out a safety video, especially to maybe help combat against this theory that swapping primers is a safe thing to do. It's not. Even if your gun goes bang, it's still not a safe thing to do. So anyways, you guys have a great day. Enjoy the cup of coffee. I need to go in and stir my beans, and I will see you in the next video.